Can't keep a good thing down, wouldn't you say? It's your boy Robbie. We back for a react. This is going to be coming from Blackie Speaks. David case autopsy results revealed. Now, unless you've been under a rock, you should be very familiar with the David case. He's currently being charged with deleting a 14-year-old young lady, and he's currently in custody. And yeah, you know, every few years you get these situations where a high-profile superstar celebrity does something that's totally off the rails, and we just basically follow the case all the way through. I think the last thing was the Young Thug situation, even though that didn't really involve any, like, you know, passings or anything. But yeah, this should be interesting. Let's not waste no time though. Let's get to the video.
Now, the autopsy results in the David case, spelled D4VD, have finally been released. And with this information now out, we're getting a much clearer picture of what happened to 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. This is a report that up until now had not been made public. Authorities were holding back those details, while the medical examiner's office was pushing for its release. Now it's out not just to the public, but to the family as well. And from what we know, they're learning a lot of this information at the same time as the rest of the world. Before I continue, I do want to say this video contains details that may be difficult to hear. If you're sensitive to that or have children around, this might not be the video to watch right now. But I'm going to go through this report very carefully and stick to the facts so you understand exactly what's been revealed, because this has been one of the biggest missing pieces in this case. Without these details, it's been difficult to fully understand what happened to Celeste. Now, the cause and manner of death were determined back in December, and this is the first key point. The report states that Celeste died from multiple penetrating injuries caused by an object or objects, and the manner of death has been ruled as a homicide. Now, as for what that object or those objects were specifically, that hasn't been confirmed. As of now, there's no publicly identified murder weapon as far as we know. However, this is what we know. The report, which I was able to obtain, goes into specific detail. It states that Celeste had two separate penetrating wounds to her torso. The first was located on the upper right side of her abdomen, and according to the report, that wound penetrated her liver with an approximate depth of 1.5 inches. She also had a second penetrating wound, this time to the lower side of her chest, which was measured at around 2 inches.
I know it's kind of early, but you know, it's crazy. And if y'all hear any noise in the background, that's my son, so I apologize in advance. But yeah, like, how sick do you gotta be to do something like that to somebody is crazy. It's really insane.
In depth. Now, the report expands on what investigators found at the time of discovery. Her remains were located inside the front trunk, which was of course registered to the popular singer David, with her head and torso positioned in a body bag. During the examination, investigators noted that both of her arms were missing above the elbows and both legs above the knees. Now, underneath that first bag they found, there was also another bag. Inside that bag were what appeared to be her arms and legs, which the report says appeared to have been dismembered into several fragments. A lot of heavy details right here. At the same time, Celeste's body was in an advanced state of decomposition, with discoloration, insect activity, and partial skeletonization, with the report also noting that her left eye appeared to be absent. Investigators also noted that some...
Oh, my bad. You know what's so crazy is that, you know, I don't know what possessed me to do this, but I went to go listen to that song. Was it Romantic Homicide, I think is what that song was called. And it's clear as day that he was telling everybody in his music what he had planned to do. He basically acted out his music, you know what I'm saying? And nobody thought nothing of it, I'm sure, at first. They just thought, okay, but if you look at the visuals of that video, it's very, you know, disturbing. And it speaks to what's going on right now with this nigga.
Some parts, including fingers, were not recovered at the scene. And that she had a tattoo that read, shh, like shh, quiet, on the side of her right index finger, which, as some of you guys might remember from a lot of the early reports when this story first broke, appears similar to a tattoo seen on David in a photo. And I'll put that image on the screen right now for reference to my right side right here. The report also details what Celeste was wearing at the time:
This
a
nigga
tube
is
top,
sick in the
underwear,
head.
black leggings, and black socks. It also notes that the tube top had multiple holes in both the front and the back. The autopsy then goes in.
First of all, he's sick for one, dealing with a 14-year-old, and you're like 20, nigga. The fuck are you doing dealing with a 14-year-old? That's number one. And number two, like, why would you do something like that? He really was on some like Jeffrey Dahmer shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he should have been,
into the toxicology results. According to the report, toxicology performed on liver tissue showed a low level of ethanol, basically alcohol. However, it did not appear to have contributed to her death. Investigators also noted that it's unclear whether that alcohol was from ingestion or the result of post-mortem changes, which are basically changes that can occur in the body after death. Now, as far as the toxicology, the report mentions a few other substances as well. Most notably, Celeste Rivas tested positive for benzodiazepines, methamphetamine, and MDMA. However, and this is very important, those results were listed as presumptively positive, which means they showed up in initial testing, but would still need further testing before anything could be confirmed. The autopsy report also provides some insight into the evidence collected. Investigators stated that they swabbed the handles and zippers of the bag containing Celeste's head and torso. While the report doesn't specify the outcome, this type of testing is typically used to identify things like DNA or fingerprints. The bag itself was also described in detail, with 3 handles on each side, along with additional handles at the top and bottom. Investigators also noted the presence of small blue plastic pieces at the cut sites on her arms and legs. All those findings are now part of the evidence in this case moving forward. Now, one of the more recent updates from 2 days ago, which I covered, investigators allege that on or about April 23, 2025, David invited Celeste to his home in the Hollywood Hills area. She arrived, and according to investigators, this was the last time she was known to be alive, and those developments came after the first-degree murder charge David is currently facing. And in response to those charges, his legal team stated, "Let us be clear. The actual evidence in this case will show that David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and he was not the cause of her death."
man, listen, fuck all that. He definitely did that. Like, there's just too many clues, too many hints, too many things point the finger to him. You know what I mean? From the music, the tattoo on her finger, the fact that her fingers weren't there and weren't, recovered. He definitely had everything to do with that. I don't see this nigga beating this case. You know what I mean? Absolutely not. He needs to be locked up. He need to feel that.
David has since then appeared in court and entered a plea of not guilty.
David Burke, also known as the musician David, dressed in a black sweatshirt, stood behind a glass partition as his attorney entered his plea of not guilty.
We believe the actual evidence will show David Burke did not murder Celeste.
David is scheduled to return to court today, actually, on Thursday, in downtown Los Angeles. His legal team has been pushing to move things forward quickly, with a probable cause hearing expected to address the evidence against him. So this would give more insight into what investigators are working with in terms of the evidence they say they have against him. Over the next couple of days, we're going to learn a lot more about where this case stands, especially now that the autopsy findings are out, which of course will be tied into the broader investigation. And of course, I'll keep you guys updated with any new verified details as they come. If you made it this far, drop a like on this video and subscribe if you're new here. My name is Blackie Speaks. Nice to meet you. If you guys have anything to share about what we talked about, please let me know in the comment section below. And of course, just keep it respectful. This is a pretty sensitive topic, and apparently the family just found out, which obviously I know they're going through it, right? You guys let me know in the comment section below, and I'll catch you.
All right, y'all. That's going to be the end of the video. Rest in peace to her, man. She definitely didn't deserve that. Like I said, I really don't see dude beating this case. You know what I'm saying? There was something that I wanted to say there. That's right. Let's just say, in hypotheticals, he does somehow beat this case, right? Your music career is clipped. Nobody is going to, you are not going to be able to revive your career. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. So your best bet is to just go ahead and admit that you did it and just spend the rest of your days locked up, because nobody's going to want to listen to your music, because everybody already has, in the court of public opinion, you're guilty. So nobody's gonna listen to your music. Nobody's gonna rock out with you. So go ahead and do your time. You did the crime, do the time. You feel me? But yeah, y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about this situation. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Make sure you check the like button, take the subway, and be sure to sound off in that comment section until security comes through there and starts kicking people the fuck out. All right? I'm gonna make sure I continue to speak on this and cover it, you know, as we get further and further along with it. But yeah, all that being said, it's your boy Robbie. Till the next video, we gone.